ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi. He scored. The goal the world wanted.
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport is brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money. It's one time.
And it's only one time then, once a year, that we have the 14th of February, which means it's Valentine's Day. Wacky Wednesday it is. And if you want to give the best Valentine gift to your man, give him 1 hour of our sports show. Coming up tonight, the team in studio, Mike Madota, Barry Menandi, Alois Punjira, behind the decks, our man Sean. It is Valentine's Day on the 14th of February.
It is indeed, but the format remains the same because we've got news from the home front where ZIFA President Philip Chiangwa still has 22 months remaining in office before the ZIFA Congress convenes for an election in which he will be eligible to run for his second and final term in office, according to legal advice given to ZiFM Sport. In cricket news, Zimbabwe's all-rounder Sikandar Raza has been fined 15% of his match fee for breaching the ICC Code of Conduct during the third one-day international against Afghanistan in Sharjah yesterday. And in rowing news, top Zimbabwean rower Mai Keen Thornycroft got an early Valentine's Day present when she was named as the winner of the 2017 Philippi Spirit Award yesterday.
We have international sports news, and in our roundup in golf, Tiger Woods has not made any playing commitments beyond this week's Genesis Open, and the former world number one said his decision on whether to compete next week will depend on his level of soreness. In rugby, England rugby coach Eddie Jones says World Rugby's statement on Gareth Anscombe's disallowed try hurts the integrity of match officials. And in athletics, Kenya's 800 meters Olympic champion and world record holder David Rudisha will not seek selection for this year's Commonwealth Games.
To the beautiful game where we start in the UEFA Champions League, where Mauricio Pochettino says few teams could have dominated Juventus like Tottenham did in last night's Champions League round of 16 first leg. Pep Guardiola hailed what he called an amazing result after Manchester City beat Basel 4-0 in the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie in Switzerland. Zinedine Zidane is hoping the Champions League will again bring out the best in Real Madrid as the title holders face the formidable Paris Saint-Germain of Neymar in tonight's last 16 first leg. And Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp says passion is more important than tactics when it comes to winning games as the Reds are in Portugal ahead of their Valentine's Day fixture against Porto.
ZiFM Sport, proudly delivered by One Money. It's one time.
One Money, of course, is from Net1. Now, Net1 gives you the One Money 8-time promotion. Now, buy airtime via One Money for $1 or more and get an 8% discount. Now, the 8% airtime discount will not be included on all bundle purchases. That is, of course, One Fusion, $1 a day, Kuluma 24/7, voice, data, SMS, capped social media services. But if you do buy airtime for $1 or more, remember, you're getting 8% discount.
That's right. Buy a Zessa token via One Money for just $5 or more and get 1.5% discount. The discounts on airtime 8% and Zessa tokens 1.5% are awarded instantly upon the purchase of either use case. Hence, no draws will be conducted.
Remember, T's and C's apply. Promotion will be open to all Net1 customers, that is prepaid customers who are 16 years of age and above, Net1 employees, spouses and family, agencies, suppliers, and all eligible to participate are all ineligible to participate in the promotion. The airtime and Zessa token rewards will not be transferable to any other customer. The promotion runs from the 9th of February to the 30th of April. So what are you waiting for, guys? Get your airtime and Zessa tokens today with One Money.
This is ZiFM Stereo.
It's all happening, of course, the Z Sports team dressed by Adidas, and it's all happening at the moment. A sale not to be missed at Ideal Range Adidas Concept Store in Zimbabwe, Sam Levy's Village and the Village Walk. Soccer boots, rugby boots and all gym kit on selected items up to 60% off. Get on down to the Adidas stores today.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Our WhatsApp platform is 0731-168-045. That number again, 0731-168-045. Lots of topical issues and stories that we get through every day right here on ZiFM Sport. And we want to hear from you. We're also on Twitter and Facebook at ZiFM Sport. Do follow and interact with us. ZIFA has been hogging all the headlines, and they continue to be a trending story here on the show. ZIFA President Philip Chiangwa still has 22 months remaining in office before the ZIFA Congress convenes for an election in which he would be eligible to run for a second and final term in office. This according to legal advice that was given to ZiFM Sport. ZIFA's constitution lodged and ratified by the Sports and Recreation Commission, the SRC, states that a ZIFA president will be elected for a 4-year term by the ZIFA Congress, regardless of whether the predecessor succeeded or failed to complete their term. This was the case with Cuthbert Dube, who was ousted by a vote of non-confidence, and Congress elected Philip Chiangwa as its president on December the 5th in the year 2015. A legal expert further said that the terms of office of the ZIFA members, from the grassroots area zones to the provincial chairpersons, do not have a defined term of office, save for the requirement in the ZIFA electoral code that they hold elections, and we quote, on a regular basis. Let's hear from legal expert Itai Ndudzo, a partner at Clearwood Chambers Law Practice, on the content of the ZIFA Constitution and its implications on the future of ZIFA President Philip Chiangwa.
The correct position is that ZIFA elections must be conducted in terms of the ZIFA Constitution and the ZIFA Electoral Code. In particular, the election of a ZIFA president is specifically provided for in Article 25 of the ZIFA Constitution, which says that an election for a ZIFA president is dealt with in accordance with Article 38 of the ZIFA Constitution. If you go to Article 38 of the ZIFA Constitution, it's very clear that the president is elected by Congress and his term of office shall be 4 years, after which he is eligible for a re-election once. The Constitution also clarifies what happens in a situation where the president is unable to complete his term of office and his position becomes vacant at midpoint. The Constitution provides in Article 38, Clause 5, that the Vice President must step in, and at the next Congress, the election of a new president must take place. And once elected, that president's term of office is provided for in Article 38, subsection 1, is 4 years. And I must emphasize that there is no other provision of the ZIFA Constitution that provides for a lesser term than 4 years. There is no by-election for a president which must come up with a shorter period. There's no such thing, no such provision in the provisions of the ZIFA Constitution. So I don't want to speak to the question in the context of a particular person, but this is what the ZIFA Constitution provides. The Sports and Recreation Commission is a statutory body. It is created in terms of the Sports and the Recreation Commission Act. And the Sports and Recreation Commission Act is very clear in terms of Section 29, that sports associations must be registered with the Commission. And once an association is registered, it must lodge its constitution, and the SRC has a role to ensure that at all material times, what happens in the association is in accordance with the Constitution as registered. That is the role of the SRC. And the role of the SRC in terms of the Constitution of ZIFA is simply to make sure that it protects and upholds what is provided in that Constitution. Now, in regards to the elections, the position is much clearer. The SRC has not just registered the ZIFA Constitution, but it has also registered the Electoral Code. There is absolutely no role whatsoever provided for in the SRC for the SRC in the ZIFA Electoral Code and in the ZIFA elections. So you cannot expect the SRC to play any role, and the claims which are being made that SRC can intervene and can restore order are outrightly nonsensical and not provided for in the SRC Act and in the ZIFA Constitution and the ZIFA Electoral Code.
Legal expert Intayi Ndudzo, a partner at Clearwood Chambers Law Practice there, speaking on the ZIFA Constitution and its implications on the future of ZIFA President, as well as addressing the issue of overreach, as he calls it, from the Sports and Recreation Commission, and he dismissed that as nonsensical. Now, the thing here, gentlemen, just from the point of view to have a discussion from the point of view that's been given here by the legal expert, Barry, is to say that the SRC, just to clarify, what is their role in this? Because they've come out to police the situation regards the elections.
Yeah.
But what is their role? Can they play that role of policeman?
No, they can't. On the basis that if you look at the electoral code, the ZIFA electoral code, it specifically says that when an election is being run, the announcement of that election is given to CAF and to FIFA. The oversight or the results of those elections are then given to CAF and to FIFA. At no point in the electoral code is the SRC mentioned either by name or by implication. The only organizations that are mentioned are FIFA and CAF. In fact, the electoral code specifically speaks of government intervention in the elections. Now, SRC, being a statutory body, is part of a government institution. So the SRC doesn't have any role to play in the elections whatsoever.
Alois, your thoughts on this one here? It looks like legally, it may be that Philip Chiangwa is actually standing on very strong ground.
Yeah, legally, not ethically.
Yeah.
Legally, yes. He is standing on. I don't know.
Maybe not morally.
Yes.
Yeah.
From morally. Yeah. From what I heard from what he is saying, I think probably we still need to hear from a different angle of a legal guy who is on the opposite side. Once we hear, we're not lawyers. But for me, I think we'll have to hear the response of a legal guy from the opposite side. But having said that, I think probably when you look at it, it might be the Constitution that was just written quickly, and people didn't look at all this kind of
because that seems to be the point that
if they were not. Yes,
the question may be, and as morally reprehensible as it may be, it may not be a question of whether a PC is trying to take advantage of a loophole, but the actual basis of the problem lies in the fact that we have a bad constitution.
Yes, it's the bad constitution.
Yes. Now, here's the thing.
Just written haphazardly, hastily, and
here's the fine point, though, Barry. The SRC passed this constitution.
They did. The SRC passed the Constitution. The SRC passed the Electoral Code. Now, when we then go back into history and think to ourselves, okay, this Constitution, where is its genesis? Its genesis is found in two miscreant individuals, in Jonathan Mashingaidze and Cuthbert Elkanah Dube, who drafted this constitution to cement the power of the president. That's why all power is resting in the office of the president. They personalized a document that now is living beyond their life in office, and now Philip Chiangwa or PC has the opportunity to
is that why then there seems to be a separation of the president
Yes.
when it comes to his election and his office from everyone else.
Yes.
So, for example, Philip Chiangwa's term as president, we're using Philip Chiangwa as an example, doesn't have to be in tandem with that of his executive committee.
And Congress.
It doesn't have to be in tandem with the guys in the provinces
members,
and in the districts, the members that actually elect him into power.
Which doesn't make sense. When you look at it, it doesn't make sense. Now he's going for the 22 months in office, but with the other guys
But here's the killer though, Alois. It's not necessarily true, because according to the Constitution, those guys actually don't have set times for elections.
Yes.
which also make the Constitution
Yes.
like a mockery.
Yeah, which is why I think
is a mockery.
the debate and the discussion. Yeah, the debate and the discussion should center around the bad Constitution.
Yes.
Because according to the Constitution, it actually says, according to the Constitution, regards the sort of like the members of ZiFA, that elections are to be held on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't give a time specification.
It doesn't.
So these guys can either choose to get re-elected or to hold elections
And realign with the 22 months.
after 6 months if they wish.
Yep.
Or they can do it after 10 years, as long as it's on a regular basis.
And-
Which explains why, guys, we've had the same individuals as members for years.
And
These are the same individuals that
still come
elected
back as
Nyatanga,
councillors.
that elected Cuthbert Dube, that elected
Because they're
Philip
not
Chiangwa.
holding elections in their constituencies.
And that's very important. That's very important on the basis that what we have is that not only are they not encouraged, or it doesn't state explicitly that they hold elections on a particular term period. Further to that, it's not explicit on the limit of terms that they can serve.
Yes.
So these guys have been on a perpetual cycle.
He can be a
of just
councillor for
coming in.
50 years.
Absolutely.
Even
And-
the ZiFA president isn't.
No, it's two.
Two
terms.
terms. You can
Yeah,
only be
okay.
re-elected once, which is also where some
is
of
actually
the
quite
cry,
a good- yeah.
some of the cry that's coming out of PC at the moment, whereby if he is to hold elections now, he's only going to serve you lose 2 years.
You lose 2 years of his term.
Of his term, exactly.
yeah,
so
that's
so
true, yeah.
consequently, that is defined. So the president won re-election. These other fellas, the members, they can go on into perpetuity.
So in this constitution, they probably could have put a provision for if the president is recalled, what happens? That is what is missing in there.
Yeah, so we need to open up the discussion, and maybe the listeners out there, you can help us. Should the discussion not center around the reform of the ZiFA Constitution and the Electoral Code? I think that's where the trick is going to be, and that's where the SRC need to center their efforts, and that's where the Minister of Sport as well needs to center his
step
efforts.
in now
That's
and
where
say,
he needs
let's
to step in
redo this
and
constitution.
start lobbying for this constitution to be aligned so that it actually makes sense for everyone involved. Our WhatsApp platform is 0731 168 045. That's 0731 168 045. This is ZiFM Sport on a Wednesday, brought to you by One Money.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Tembwe. You're listening to ZiFM Sports.
All right, now, mobile telecommunications company Net1, our proud partners for today's show through One Money, are expected to end speculation related to their football partnership with the country's big three football clubs when they unveil their landmark multi-million-dollar sponsorship package in Harare this evening. Although the finer details of the package are going to be disclosed a bit later on, it is believed that the clubs are likely to get monthly salaries for their players and coaches for a period of 1 year. The clubs have already received payments for their players and coaches' January salaries. And in other news, the state of Rufaro Stadium has come under scrutiny ahead of the Zimbabwe National Army's Charities Shield semi-final clash between arch rivals Dynamos and Caps United this weekend, in light of the recent incessant rains that has rendered it virtually unplayable. With the safety of players in mind, Dynamos treasurer Webster Marechera voiced concern over the state of the competition's choice of venue for the big Harare derby. Dynamos played 2 friendly matches in the muddy and dangerously slippery Rufaro on Sunday.
Hi, I'm Clemens Matau, chicken in midfielder. You're listening to ZiFM Sport.
We continue with the rest of our local sports news roundup. In cricket, Zimbabwe all-rounder Sikinder Raza has been fined 15% of his match fee for breaching the ICC Code of Conduct during the third one-day international against Afghanistan in Sharjah yesterday. Raza was found to have violated Article 2.1.5 of the ICC Code of Conduct for players and player support personnel, which relates to showing dissent at an umpire's decision during an international match. In addition to the fine, one demerit point has been added to Raza's disciplinary record. To rowing, where top Zimbabwean rower Megan Thornycroft got an early Valentine's Day present when she was yesterday named as the winner of the 2017 Philippi Spirit Award by the World Rowing Federation and Philippi Lido SRL in Switzerland. The Philippi Spirit Award is presented to a university rower who has demonstrated the core values of rowing in his or her social, academic and sporting life, and through these values also enabled or inspired exceptional success in other people's lives. And to basketball, where the Bulawayo Basketball Association has begun preparations for the interprovincial competitions to be held in Gweru next month. The association's first step towards ensuring Bulawayo teams bring back gold from the games was the announcement of a strong technical team to take charge of the teams. Cinder Mono has been appointed head of the technical team, with the senior team's head coach for men being Highlanders Theo Wheel and Maxilisi Ndlovu taking charge of the women.
One money from Net1. It's one time.
Today's edition of ZiFM Sport is proudly powered up by One Money. Earlier on, we did tell you, of course, about the One Money 8-time promotion. Exciting value you can get in that promotion. And now we're going to be telling you some of the things that you can do courtesy of One Money. One of the most important and most convenient things you can do is buy your ZESA tokens. And all you need to do is dial *111#, select option 2, that is make payment, select option 1, the biller, select option 1 after that, ZESA, select buy token, enter 1, which is your meter number, or enter 2, your saved meter number, enter the amount you want to spend, enter your PIN, and then confirm purchase. And of course, you can always resort to a short code for ZESA, which is *111*2*1*1#, and then dial.
Introducing the one, the only One Money from Net1. A more convenient way to send, receive, pay or get paid with mobile money. Want to buy ZESA or pay your bills? Check. Buy airtime or send money to GoGo? No doubt. Buy your groceries or even vegetables at the market? It's all good. You can even move money from your bank account to your wallet and swipe using the One Money card on all ZimSwitch platforms. There is so much more you can do with One Money. Just dial *111# and open up a world of convenience. That's *111#. One Money. Send and receive, pay and get paid with One Money from Net1. It's one time.
One money. It's one time.
Exide lasts the distance. Exide has the endurance. Exide unleashes the power, and it starts your engine with just one kick. Exide fears no weather. Exide withstands the temperature. Exide fears no size. Exide does not give up. It is the ultimate battery. Exide, the battery of choice.
It's breakfast, the ignition with TTT
Chris Gray.
Happy Valentine's Day, Comrade Timothy. The longest kiss. How's your kissing business going at home?
The whole city, you cannot have the Valentine's Day with a dirty city.
ZiFM Stereo. From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
All right, we got some golf news where Tiger Woods has not made any playing commitments beyond this week's Genesis Open, and the former world number one said his decision on whether to compete next week will depend on his level of soreness. Woods, who made the cut last month at Torrey Pines in his only competitive start since returning from injury, has until after his second round on Friday to commit to the February 22nd to the 25th Honda Classic, which will be played near his Florida home. Woods says he still needs time to assess how he is feeling. Let's hear from him.
I'm just starting back. I've been away from the game for a very long time, and I've basically played, 2 tournaments, and so I've got a lot of room for improvement and a long way to go.
Yeah, there's work to be done, isn't it? I mean, it looks, and he's right to sort of take the cautious approach and then see how he gets on tournament from tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about managing his body at this age, and it's all about going for the big ones, and it's all about using these type of tournaments like the Honda Classic and the Genesis Open to prepare himself for the majors. And there are also 4 majors that are played every year. The Masters, which is going to be played between the 5th and the 8th of April this year.
Right, yeah.
And then the US Open is coming up in June, and then you have the Open Championship, which comes up in July, and then the USPGA Championship, which is in August. So everything is building up to those 5 months between April and August. That's what Tiger is going to be playing for from here on out, because he's reached that age where he's got to manage his body a lot better, and also because he was such a high intensity player in his youth or in his younger days, there was a bit more wear and tear than the average player, because he was such an intense player. He's then suffered those injuries which have been more debilitated than they have been for other players.
Agreed. And Paz, you mentioned before he played in that tournament, his first tournament back, you mentioned that you just wanted to see him get through 4 days. He managed that.
He did?
Well, but what's your assessment of the way that he played? Was there enough there? Were there green shoots that make you think that, you know what, another major is certainly not out of the bounds of reality?
Look, I think it's still early days. I think he needs to get at least half a dozen tournaments under his belt, and again complete all those 4 tournaments, make the cut, and maybe have some decent finishes in those half a dozen tournaments.
On that first
I'm not committed. I can't. For me, he needs to be playing a bit more golf for me to say, wow, Tiger Woods can win another major. But at this stage, as it stands now, no.
But he's got time. That's the one thing about it. He's got time, and a lot of people may be thinking he needs to do it this year or next year. He's too old, but I can run through about 10, 15 players that have won a major after turning 40, and some of the more recognizable names. Ben Hogan, he won the 1953 Open at the age of 40. Jack Nicklaus actually won it twice after he turned 40. He won the 1980 USPGA Championship, and then he also won the 1986 Masters at the age of 46. The oldest guy to do it, Julius Boros, 1968 USPGA Championship. I think he was about 48 years old when he won that major. And then you've got other guys. Phil Mickelson has won it when he's 42 years old, 2013 Open. He's still going strong, hey? Let's not forget that Phil Mickelson is still playing right now. He's what is he now? 46 years old, 46. And still competing and still challenging at the top. So I think Tiger Woods has to manage his body. He does that. I think he can pick up 1 or 2 or even 2 or 3 more majors.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Tiger Woods is actually taking it under advisement, working with his doctors for a change, not pushing his body as hard. I think he knows full well where he is in terms of his age, and he's doing that very well.
Hi, my name's Ryan Cairns, Sunshine Tour professional golfer, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Around the world in 60 seconds, international sports news.
We take off in England, where National Rugby head coach Eddie Jones says World Rugby statement on Gareth Hanscom's disallowed try hurts the integrity of match officials. World Rugby said television match official Glenn Newman made an error in ruling out Hanscom's try during the first half of England's Six Nations win over Wales last Saturday. In the Netherlands, tennis legend John McEnroe says it's beyond belief Roger Federer can play the way he does at the age of 36, as the Swiss legend looks to recapture the world number 1 spot in Rotterdam 5 years after he reached the pinnacle. The American 7-time Grand Slam champion says Federer doesn't put a lot of strain on his body, which makes him such a unique individual, and displays his joy for the game every time he steps out on the court. Over to New Zealand, England head coach Trevor Bayliss says he cannot wait to get Ben Stokes up to speed ahead of the all-rounders' arrival in Wellington. Stokes flew to New Zealand today to join up with the England squad ahead of their one-day international and test series. We touched down in Kenya, where Kenya's 800-meter champion, Olympic champion and world record holder David Rudisha will not seek selection for this year's Commonwealth Games. Team officials say two-time Olympic 1500-metre champion Aspel Kiprop is also making himself unavailable. A total of 170 athletes have been invited for the one-day Kenyan trials in Nairobi on Saturday, during which the first 3 runners across the line will earn automatic qualification for the championships on Australia's Gold Coast in April.
ZiFM Stereo.
Also, without doubt, Zimbabwe's finest sports show, and now dressed by the finest sports company in the world, Adidas. And you can find the Adidas shop out at the Village Walk, as well as Sam Levy's Village out here in Harare. And you can go get there anything you desire, especially if sport is your thing. Running shoes, tennis shoes, soccer boots, rugby boots. You find gym attire. You find even lacquer stuff just to wear on a chill day like a Saturday.
Lacquer, my
Lacquer, my
lacquer, brief.
Yeah, Adidas is lacquer. So you find it all at the Village Walk, as well as Sim Levy's Village. And there's a sale on as well, so you need to take advantage of that.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport.
You know what that means? That is the Champions League anthem. Norman Mapeza says that it makes the hairs at the back of your neck stand. And remember, he played in the competition for Galatasaray, and he actually played in the Camp Nou versus Barcelona, playing against the likes of the fabled striker Romario.
Yep.
Now, anyway, yeah. Yeah, as well, yeah. Yeah, but, we're talking about 98,000 years thing, Alois.
He played at the Theatre of Dreams.
Wow, he played at the Camp Nou.
Are you guys going to have a fight now?
Yeah, we're going to have a fight now. But anyway,
Norman,
listen.
get on the blower.
Yeah, Norman, tell us which stadium do you call, of course, the most hallowed turf that you ever played at. But anyway, Mauricio Pochettino says few teams could have dominated Juventus like Tottenham did in last night's Champions League round of 16 first leg. Spurs suffered a nightmare start in Turin, trading 2-0 to Gonzalo Higuain's double inside 7 minutes. But the English side hit back through Harry Kane and Christian Eriksen to finish with a 2-2 draw, although Higuain missed a penalty at 2-1. The visitors have only ever reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League once, while Juventus have lost 2 finals in the last 3 seasons. But Spurs finished the match with more shots and possession than the Italians. Let's hear from Super Harry Kane, who insists his side must not be complacent after drawing versus Juve.
We've had some great results this year. Obviously, we'd want to be higher up in the league than what we are, but recently we've kind of turned that around and we've got good momentum. So it's bright, but the job ain't done yet. We've still got to go through in the FA Cup on the weekend. Hopefully, go through in the Champions League and try and go as far as we can in them competitions.
They got 2 crucial away goals, Alois, and that's what we talked about yesterday. The need for them to score in Italy to give themselves a chance when they go back to Wembley.
Yeah, I just had that feeling that Harry Kane was going to score, because that is what he has been scoring. Goals just come to him, balls just come to him, things just happen. He just gets it. And Juve, I had said, if they really want to proceed, they have to score at least 3 goals. 2-1 is going to be advantage Tottenham. Now it's actually 2-2 for me. I see.
Go on.
Tottenham.
Wait.
But you know what? And I know you have a point. The fact that Tottenham is going to go and play at home, but let's not forget that Juventus created enough scoring opportunities. I still think we are going to see another high-scoring game in London.
Yeah, we might. I don't know what tactic Tottenham are going to use on the day. And when you look at it, Tottenham could have also scored 4 yesterday.
So
it was an open game. Yes. So we don't know. Second legs are always crazy, because now teams are too tactical in the second leg, especially
do you think
after
that
a scoring
can play in a different way? I see this game panning out in the same way.
Do you know that
Juve playing on the break, Tottenham dominating possession?
The beauty of it. Do you know Tottenham can actually say that as long as Juve doesn't score, we qualify. That's all they need. As long as Juve doesn't score, we qualify. So they can actually change Yeah, they can. They can actually switch on.
Yeah, I'm
if
with
you
Bunja.
manage to
I
score.
think advantage
But if they
Spurs.
say we can keep, let's wait
it's
for
advantage
20,
Spurs,
for
but
20 minutes.
I doubt Spurs will say if we don't score, I think Spurs will try and score.
If I was Pocket, no, they will play to score.
Can Spurs play like that?
They would play to score.
Can they play sitting back? Spurs. Have you ever seen them play sitting back?
If they want to proceed, they can actually say,
why not just play the way
score?
Why not play the way they did in Italy? Because they'll score.
No, I don't think Tottenham will be extravagant and carefree.
It's
like
not
they
carefree.
did it's carefree.
No.
When they conceded, they just
carefree?
go on. When they conceded, they had nothing to lose. Let's go and play.
But
let's go out. I don't think they will have that tactic. I'm just talking. If I was Pochettino, I wouldn't just get the game open. If I'm the one with the advantage,
you'd be defensive.
I would not really defensive, but I'll just be compact. Okay. I'll remain compact. I wouldn't be extravagant.
Barry, what would you be your approach in this game? Because I thought Tottenham did extremely well. I thought they were mature, they were measured, and that's the way Spurs has played. Even against Man City. That's how Spurs played. And that's how they played against Liverpool. That's how they played against Arsenal. I don't see the need for Tottenham to say, okay, let's try and restrict ourselves. I just say play the way you did in Italy. You'll probably win the game.
I'm not going to answer what I would do, but I'm going to base it on the character of the team that we're talking about. And Tottenham Hotspur doesn't sit back. Tottenham Hotspur goes out. They play an open, expansive game because that's the Arsenal they've got. That's the team setup and team makeup that they've got. Also, I think Poch is going to have something in the back of his mind. The fact that Juventus managed to fashion out chances, if he goes and he sits back, and God forbid they score, it's very difficult to then engage the next gear and try to play a bit, because when Juventus scored, it was actually on the break. Tottenham was dominating the ball. Tottenham was playing Tottenham's game, and Juventus managed to then use the ball more efficiently and remember, it was an early goal as well. So Tottenham Hotspur know only one way to play. They played the same way last night as they always do. Whether they've a goal against them or whether
let's take a look at the goals that were scored yesterday. You have got Juventus scoring from a set piece. And then you've got Juventus scoring from a penalty. Could have scored again from a penalty. So you're taking a look at situations that perhaps Pochettino will say to himself, you know what? No, before I get there, Alois, why don't you let me say what I need to say? Because we might actually be agreeing. These are situations that Pochettino will say to himself, we can do something about.
Okay.
Then there are those situations where Juventus then created chances and put the Tottenham backline under pressure.
Correct.
Those are the areas where you have your question marks. Then Juventus as well will take a look at the way they conceded their goals. Two mistakes from two of their most experienced players.
Yep.
The first goal, Chiellini loses possession, wants to play for a foul. The ref doesn't blow. Correct. Ball goes to Kane. Bang.
Goal.
The second goal, Buffon. You should do a lot better than that. That ball comes to your side. You should save that.
You should save it.
He shifted to the right, and he should have been. And the goal goes exactly where he was. So he could have saved that. Juventus themselves will feel that even though we didn't have the ball, Alois, but these are situations that surely we can work on. So this game is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I don't think one side is going to run away with it.
No, not one side is going to run away. What I said is,
no, I'm not saying
this is a different. This
is a different discussion.
In Turin.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a different question.
It's going to be open, but I'm still saying that as much as this game is going to be close, Tottenham is advantage Tottenham. At the beginning,
we agree.
First minute, advantage Tottenham, they are going to be the more careful side than Juve. Because Juve, they know that as long as they don't score, they are out of this tournament. So they will definitely be hunting for that goal. They need that goal. And then Tottenham, for them, they just want to say, if they don't score. So for me, I think it's going to be attack Juve, Tottenham calm.
Okay, send us your messages, your thoughts on 0731 168 045.
Right, let's move on. Pep Guardiola hailed what he called an amazing result after Manchester City beat Basel 4-0 in their first leg of the Champions League last 16 tie in Switzerland last night. City raced into a 3-goal lead inside 24 minutes thanks to strikes from Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero. Gundogan scored again after half-time to put City in a commanding position ahead of the return leg at the Etihad on the 7th of March. Let's hear from the City manager Pep Guardiola, who knows his side are on the verge of the Champions League quarterfinals.
0-4 away, so it's an amazing result. We are almost in, of course, the Champions League is 180 minutes, but we are almost there in quarterfinals. I'm not saying it's already done because, of course, football, I think, happened in respect for Basel, but we make an amazing result.
So, boys, comfortable? I would say they're safely through.
Job done.
Yeah, job done.
Yeah, job done.
That one's done.
It's just a question now of what the final scoreline is going to be. If you win 4-0 away, there's no way that this Basel side is going to come to the Etihad and win 5-0.
But not a chance. Not going to happen. I think that tie is done. Let's already put Manchester City in the hat. And today, it gets even more exciting because Zidane is hoping the Champions League will again bring out the best in Real Madrid as the title holders face the formidable Paris Saint-Germain of Neymar in tonight's last 16 first leg. Zidane helped Real retain the Champions League crown and lift the league title in Spain last term. But despite Real's struggles in La Liga, the 45-year-old insists both he and his top stars are in buoyant mood ahead of the Champions League last 16 first leg clash with PSG. Meanwhile, striker Edinson Cavani believes Paris Saint-Germain are still growing and should not be under pressure to win the Champions League. Let's get the pre-match thoughts of Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane.
I'm very, very happy to have a chance to be part of such an important game. Right now, I'm not feeling any particular pressure because we have prepared over the week, as we always do. There will be pressure, of course, as always, but that's normal, and I will enjoy it, as I always do. I'm only thinking about the game. I'm not thinking about my future. Some things are completely out of my hands. There are some things I have no control over. All I want to do is prepare, play a great game, and that's it. And yes, every game is very important to me, and every training session is very important to me. My future right now is not important to me.
Right, PSG set to be tested by Real Madrid. Earlier on in the season, we would have probably said, shucks, it's probably leaning towards PSG, but now this is a Real Madrid side that's probably hit its straps, hasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, they have. They've had a couple of good results, but this is the true test for Real Madrid because it's always good to bounce back against small sides that you expect to beat. So we didn't expect anything different. It would have been a total crisis that Real Madrid failed to win those games in the league. But now they're up against PSG. This one here is also a test for PSG.
Yeah.
For Real Madrid, it's a test of have they actually got over the worst? Have they turned a corner? For PSG, it's a test of do you belong at the top table of European football?
Are you now an
and
aristocrat?
They're up against the most difficult test because they're up against the defending champions.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, when you look at PSG, they almost did it last season with against Barcelona. They had a very, very comfortable 4-0 line. I think they now have learned their lesson and they will be like, we can't lose by a big margin at the Bernabeu. We need to go there and get a positive result. A positive result for me is a scoring draw or a win. They need that because, like you say, they need to confirm that they've arrived. Their purchases, their business, their transfer business. We need to see the results now, and this is the time. They need to show what they can do.
With the attacking players that both these teams have, Ronaldo, Benzema, Bale on one side, and then you've got Kylian Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you've got Cavani on the other side. I think it's going to be one in defense.
Yes.
The side that's able to defend well, that's able to restrict the other side from meaningful chances, because both of them have got attacks that are capable of taking chances.
Yeah.
You give them half a chance, these guys are going to take it.
Yeah.
So you have to defend well. You have to be compact. You have to be rigid, especially at the back. And that's where, for me, I think that'll be the difference.
And for me, I mean, if you look at it, I think you look at the Real Madrid defense, they're going to be without Dani Carvajal. But you look at the rest of them, you look at your Rafa Varanis of this world, your Nachos, your Sergio Ramoses, they have been prone to mistakes. If they can concentrate for 90 minutes, they could get a good result out of here.
I am very worried for Real Madrid. If you ask me my honest opinion, I'm very worried for Real Madrid, and actually think that Paris Saint-Germain can actually come out with 2 goals here.
I might actually come out with 2 goals. Well, we don't have much time left on the show today, but just to tell you that there is another game being played in the UEFA Champions League. It's in the city of Oporto, and it will see Porto taking on Liverpool, and that could be an interesting game there. Porto, no pushovers. Liverpool playing well at the moment.
Liverpool playing well, and I'll tell you what is doing very well. is One Money. Send and receive, pay and get paid. Just dial *111# and enjoy the convenience, enjoy the lowest tariffs from One Money. It's certainly one time. We're done for the day. We'll catch you tomorrow. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manande, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport was brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money. It's one time.